city. I'm doodling a big city. And I've just figured out if I start from here, that's the edge of where you can see on the video. So we're going to get stuck in straight to this city. I think we're going to start with some big gates. This is a walled city. Some kind of Game of Thrones medieval wall. Still, in my first video I said I was watching Game of Thrones, not watching it, reading it. I'm one of them purists who refuses to watch it until I've read it. And I'm still going. I'm about 3 books on from that video though. Got these. The tops of these walls look flipping awful. But hopefully when we've drawn the rest of the picture, you won't be able to notice it quite so much. Right, let's all carry on. Right, let's get it a little bit better than that. Oh Lord, this wall is... We're not off to a good start today. Okay, it's okay though. We're going to save it a little bit further, just so I'm off screen. Because otherwise that's not very satisfying. Yes, so like in the first video where I drew a kind of Viking knight in shining armour type of person, my head is kind of filled with medieval-ish visuals and paraphernalia. Is the kind of phase I'm in at the minute, still in, as I'm basically reading all of Game of Thrones back to back. So my head's full of it, so hopefully this drawing should be okay. Do a little slit for arrows. I didn't know that until recently on castles when there's tiny slits in the walls. That's because, well, I mean it's fairly self-explanatory, so arrows can come out but with ease, but arrows can't really get in. Makes sense, I suppose. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I've got a shadow down here. The other nice thing about this pen is that it's blue. It's a very nice blue as well. I don't know what kind of blue, but a nice one. Right, are we going for Drawbridge? Yes, we are. Drawbridge or gate? What should we do? I think a drawbridge. And it's down. You can just about see that. Hopefully my head isn't getting in the way as this is almost under my nose. I've got the microphone hoisted up on the 3 books today because the box I normally put it on was a little bit too high, and I've got it on 2 copies of Camus' The Outsider and also a French dictionary, so you can probably glean what I'm trying to do there. I'm trying to relearn a bit of French, and I say relearn because I did do French for a good few years at school, as did, I guess, most people in the UK due to our proximity to it. I guess where in the US people learn a lot of Spanish and tend to know the rough basics of Spanish, you'd hope. I feel like the UK equivalent is French. French is kind of drilled into most people in school, depending on where you went to school, I guess. Maybe seem to give a crap about at school was art, which has landed me here making these videos, so make of that what you will as well. We're gonna go a bit inside, yep, but leave a little gap so you can still see the chain. I've been doing that a lot recently, kind of giving things a border when they need to be seen on the drawing, if that makes sense. What's also very nice about this pen is I don't think it's been used before, at least not much. So the nib, the end, is still very sharp. It's not been dulled at all, which I'm pretty happy about, because it means I can do kind of little dots and dashes like here. Let's have a flag on top. I'm sure George R.R. Martin would be proud if he saw this. Anyway, more about me learning French. I'm going to France in the summer for a few weeks, so I've been trying to get back on it, as it were, get back on the wagon, and I'm trying to do that maybe in the stupidest way possible. Let's have some trees down here, a few trees and bushes. I'm doing the standard Duolingo, but also I bought a comic book in French over a year ago now when I was visiting London, and I found it second hand in a shop, looked it up online and saw that the book was worth about 20 quid, and the book was on sale for 2 quid. Not that I'm ever going to sell it properly, because I try and keep books forever and ever and ever, but a little part of my brain told me I should buy it, just in case I'm ever out on my arse and need a quick cash injection, maybe, of £18. That's stupid. Anyway, my plan was to basically read it through and translate it. I haven't started that yet, but I was in the market a couple of weeks ago and I found this copy of The Outsider by Albert Camus, who I just saw in the blurb was born in Algeria, which I didn't know. And not France. I definitely thought he was born in France, as he's French. But I guess not. I'm not sure. I guess he's Algerian, and I'm not 100% sure. But he definitely lived in France for a long time. And was really into football, apparently. But anyway, I found that, and I also found a French dictionary, so I thought, right, this is my chance. I'm going to buy these. They were 50p each, but I ended up getting 6 for £2. 6 books overall for £2. And I'm going to start with the kind of reading through and translating it, and for some reason in my head that's going to make me fluent at French. Probably not, though. I've probably also got to try talking to some French people. But similarly, not long after buying those, I found a copy of The Stranger. No, hang on, The Outsider. Is it The Stranger? No, it's The Outsider, isn't it? You know what? I'm looking now, and the English version says The Outsider, but the French one is Le Stranger. So I kind of feel they're one in the same. They're definitely not different books, because I looked at the first page, the first line, and in the French one, I'm going to butcher this, it said aujourd'hui, maman, aujourd'hui, maman de mort, as in more dead, so today my mum died, and in the English one, it said today my mum does French, and I kind of told him my plan, and I said a few French bits to him, and he said, you know what, you're actually not too bad. You've got the basics down, so that gave me probably a bit too much of a confidence boost, because now I basically think I'm half fluent when I'm definitely not. Okay, giving a bit of a thatched roof thing here, a few more windows. Definitely for the distance, doing lines for windows has saved me a hell of a lot of time, because before that I would just draw the windows like so, like that, and they just end up looking all over the place, especially if I'm not using a ruler. Whereas now, you know, if things are in the distance, a line does the trick. I learnt that from, I can't remember who wrote it, Paolo someone, and it's a book called Fun, and essentially it's it's a graphic novel about the history of crosswords, and this one guy in particular in Milan, I can't remember exactly, I might have this wrong, researching the history of crosswords. I think he's writing a paper on it, or I don't know. And he's chasing up this famous crossword writer, much to the crossword writers, I guess, initial annoyance. But it's just very, very interesting, and more to the point, the art is fantastic, and he does quite a few New York cityscapes in it, with, you know, the windows like this, and it is absolutely, it's mind-blowing, some of these drawings, I love it. And the subject matter is really interesting too, I'm quite into my crosswords. Window, 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 window. Window, 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 window. Oh, that's the problem with that, I end up doing a bit too many. Window, 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 window. Window, 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 window. I can get one more here above that roof. There we go, this is probably a bit skew with. Depending on how long this takes me, I might make this a two-parter. Oh, let's just get some kind of, I don't know what you call them, the windows in. This is no longer a medieval city, we're going for medieval meets New York skyline. If, you know, the apocalypse came and New York had to, what's the word, regress into a post-apocalyptic medieval city. Right, because I'm kind of looking at this at an angle now. I'm worried I'm going to get all the scales wrong, etc. I'm not looking too bad, I just looked at the camera above my head while the screen of the camera is not looking too bad. Okay. Tell you what I was watching the other day. As I like to draw buildings and things, I often have a little nerd out for a Architecture's Digest kind of YouTube videos, and there was one of a guy talking about New York architecture, or no, yeah, I think it was New York City architecture. Excuse me, sorry if that cough was a bit in your face. And he was talking about these buildings that in the US that just have they're completely glass. There's the glass, 100% glass walls, and he was saying how they're kind of the face of corporate America, which is pretty cool. But I guess they look a bit like that, obviously, without the ones that are smashed in. subscribers. Thank you if you're one of them. I truly do appreciate it. I kind of start this channel as I watch ASMR all the time. I love it. I watch it a lot when I draw, so I thought, why not combine the two? I felt like I could probably ramble on indefinitely, if that's a skill. So I thought, let's see about making the two go hand in hand. I'd often film myself drawing and put it on Instagram or what have you. People say, oh, this is very relaxing, or you should do an ASMR channel or something like that. So I have. I haven't told anyone yet though, it's a bit of a secret. Only those very close around me know about this. Maybe that'll change, who knows. Right. This booflin's just gone ridiculous now, oh dear. Okay, we've got a big kind of sticking out bit here. Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion that the camera, which is currently on my new claw arm thing, is slowly shifting back because the camera's too heavy and the claw was actually made for a phone. I'm going to keep an eye on that. And that's primarily because I can see more of the drawbridge on the camera screen than I could before. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it doesn't go too skew with, or doesn't just completely conk out of place. Right. What this is going to be is, one a bit, dear, a bit too big there. An aeroplane. Or more specifically, I think it's called a biplane. I do like putting these in drawings. I don't want to call it a calling card, but maybe it is. Although I haven't put them in any of these drawings on this channel so far. Oh my word, this plane is not good. This plane is all over the place, okay. Okay, that's not too bad. The propeller, that is, the rest leaves a lot to be desired. Sorry, that wasn't very relaxing, was it? Doing a big sniff into the microphone. Sniff of air, of nothing else, I can assure you. Okay, I think there's gonna be a few more, like all these kind of corporate America windows. And maybe a bit of, yeah, okay. Window. Oh, wonky window. Oh my lord. Okay, very wonky windows. Smash a few of them out, why not? And then there's gotta be, I'm thinking, like an observatory with a big telescope over here. I quite like using, like, I guess you'd call it a felt tip like this. It forces you to be a little bit more sloppy, a bit less precious with drawings. That's something that I definitely can benefit from. I often end up being way too precious message interceptor in the form of a satellite dish. One thing I've always really wanted to draw is there's a huge satellite dish, I think it's in China somewhere, and I found a picture of it once in a newspaper where I used to work, and I took a picture of it, and I just, aesthetically, I'm in love. I really like kind of big, detailed imagery with one central piece, as it were, one central building or like motif, and that in this huge, I bet it was as big as like a good 3 or 4 football pitches. I may be wrong. It was massive. But anyway, I do like drawing things. I recently drew like a detailed city, then in the middle just this kind of monolithic building, like rising out of the centre, completely without decoration on it, just, very 2001 A Space Odyssey monolith. Loved it. Great, but that's I guess to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. I think I'm going to colour in the squares here. Sorry, I don't mean to breathe quite so loud into the microphone. And then I'll just do it immediately afterwards, so I'm sorry about that. Right, a few lines on the microscope. A few dials, not that anyone's going to reach these, so huge dials up there. Okay, I'm thinking here, not that you'd find bricks quite so large covering the whole side of the skyscraper, but we are going to have some bricks. Also, for anyone who has been paying attention or following or subscribing, the videos have been a little bit few and far between, so the last one was 8 days ago, and I'm going to try and hopefully get this up to at least one a week. Ideally 2 a week, so I'm going to try and do one again this excuse the cough, Tuesday or Wednesday. And we'll be hopefully churning them out at a more regular rate. Brick, 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 brick. That's brick with a B, not a B. Okay. I think we're looking okay so far. Okay, so over here I'm thinking another kind of big old building with like an arched side. Oh. That could have been a little bit better. Oh, is there a building in New York that has this kind of arched ways on the side? I feel like there is. Oh, my line work there was very good. I'm also trying to go a little bit speedy, I want to kind of get as much as I can into the video. I feel like I might do a part 2, because to avoid that, I guess I feel like I'd rather split it into 2 parts than really rush it and do a really not great job of it. I still want it to look like a city. I know I don't mind it being a bit scruffy and a bit all over the place, but it's got to have some, decorum about it. Okay. Right, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. As usual, I'm getting the blue all over my hands. I have to bring in my trusty was actually thinking of becoming an architect. I very nearly did it, but then I discovered that although you don't need it, maths is useful. And maths definitely wasn't for me. Also, I'm in a very privileged position that I can just pick and choose if I want to be an architect or not, as if I just pick it, I would be one. That's obviously not the case. I probably wouldn't have got there. But what I should say is I nearly applied for it, not nearly became one, because I definitely didn't nearly become one. I nearly applied. You know, nothing is definite. What do we think for this? I think probably just the same. Keep it a little bit uniform for these windows. And done. Oh dear. This is the trouble with being a little bit scruffy. End up being too scruffy. You can probably hear the pen there on the paper scratching away. I did actually have to close the window earlier as it's early evening and the birds were in full force today, so. And as I want to be the only person making noise on this channel, I have to shut out the tweeting. Okey-dokey. Oh dear, look at me doing it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. But I often feel that, like for example, I'm drawing this building now. Right now, this building is the only thing that is the drawing. So if some part of it goes wrong, my initial feeling is, oh no. But obviously it's fine. Let's have a look at the whole thing. I think we're looking quite good here. I think we're looking okay. I'm liking this. Right, what's going on top of this building? Thinking. Very good. Should probably get a bit more of an outline on this plate. Make it stand out as a bit more bold and in the foreground to the buildings. Despite it's probably the worst plane I've ever drawn. And then at the top we're just going to have like some standard fodder that you usually find at the top of buildings, like what's this, like an aerial thing. I suppose you can't really see the top of that, but a few boxes, I guess. I don't know what they are, fuse boxes or who knows. There we go. Great stuff. Okey-dokey. Right, and as this is at the top of the drawing, I'm having a bit of a hard time getting the perspective right. Just looked at the camera and it's looking okay. I'm thinking about this plane here. I have got I'm a nervous flyer for sure. Not that flying scares me as such, but very claustrophobic, so kind of being in that space with so many other people in, I guess, what is quite a high pressure situation, that's what I don't like. And also airports, especially in the UK, are just so stressful and awful. Definitely not like other countries. Do a few telephone line balls. I do like good telephone line. But yeah, anyway, I have a bit of a morbid fascination with airplanes. I love drawing them. I love the way they look, and I kind of love the idea of them, you know. The concept that this huge ridiculous thing flies and will take to say I'm nervous about it because that'll kind of manifest nervousness in my head, but you know, I'm always kind of apprehensive, especially when, you know, generally speaking at the airport you've not had enough sleep, it's early in the morning, blah blah blah. I find it a particularly pleasant experience. What I do find interesting though is taking off and you look around and you see people's little rituals and things they do to combat the fact they're being launched into the air in this huge metal bird. You know, you see generally people close their eyes and pretend to be asleep, or I remember for a while you kind of couldn't listen to music or anything when you take off. I think that you basically can now, as long as your phone's in airplane mode or what have you. Which people still ignore anyway, me not being one of them, but I do often listen to music when taking off. Once I'm in the air I'm fine, absolutely fine, you know, you can wander about, do what you like, but it's the taking off that gets me. Not a fan at all. Tell you what, I'm going to try and get some of this building finished before I kind of sign off part 1. Maybe I'll bring in some coloured felt tips or watercolours or something for part 2. We'll see. There might even be a part 3, who knows? You might be so lucky. Okay. But I quite like the idea that this pen really dictated this drawing and not the other way around. Well, not that the drawing would dictate the pen. I guess it could, but you know, I found the pen at work, thought, oh, I'll take this home, and then I thought, oh, I'll do a drawing with it, and then I thought, oh, I know, I'll do a big city. So, you know, I really have this pen to thank, and however long ago it was, left it in the pot on the desk where I work. I know it's not anyone's, I haven't stole it off a person. I'm, 99% sure. Sorry if I don't get a lot of hate for this.